Drake had the same type of run, if not more phenomenal than Dre in this present era.
He did.
You know, these guys right here from Harlem made us dress different, talk different, walk different, rap different, all the way in Canada. So please, the pride of New York to me, make some motherfucking noise for the
Drake has to be in the top 5.
If you're not putting Drake in the top 2 of all time, like what are we gonna do? We're gonna keep putting shade on.
Drake just backed up Jim Jones after Jim boldly said he's better than Nas. And the reason Drake jumped into this mess is beyond petty. Drake thought everything was cool between him and Nas until Pusha T dropped a bomb. Nas is about to be featured on the new Clipse album. That one little detail got under Drake's skin so bad, he instantly took Jim's side in this wild rap beef. And while most people are keeping their distance from Jim over his Nas comments, Drake, he went all in. Now Jim's out here doing interviews, hyping Drake up like he's the greatest rapper to ever live, saying he's better than Nas, Jay-Z, and every other legend out there. The audacity. But that's not even the wildest part. Jim's also speaking up for Drake in that huge legal mess with Universal Music Group. Drake's actually suing his own label, claiming they stood by while Kendrick came at him on Not Like Us. And Jim? He's out here acting like Drake's personal lawyer, defending every move he makes. This whole situation is spiraling out of control. While the whole rap game roasted Drake for running to the courts after losing a rap battle, Jim Jones is out here backing him up, claiming Drake's just doing it for the culture. Seriously? But now people are asking, are Drake and Jim trolling? Are they that thirsty for attention? Or do they really believe they're right while the whole world's calling them out? Let's break it down real quick. As most folks already know, Jim lit a fire under hip-hop when he said, straight up, that he's better than Nas. That one line got the entire industry side-eyeing him.
Numbers, and I gotta show you the statistics of what I've done. You heard to what other people was done. You heard them. You wanna go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries.
Listen, we can't compare the two. What I'm trying to tell you is
I wanna go there. I wanna go down the line now, because now we going down the line. He's a rapper and I'm a rapper.
Listen,
let's go statistically.
It feels great.
No, but I wanna go statistically, because when people be like,
I feel the same way.
And even with the internet dragging him left and right, Jim doubled down, loud and proud, saying he actually helped Nas go viral for the first time in years. Like seriously, he's out here acting like he did Nas a favor with that disrespect.
What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life.
Now, has Nas reached out to you?
You did. The last time he was in some shit like this where people were comparing, when him and Jay was beating on him.
But of course, hip-hop fans weren't having it. Not even a little. The moment Jim made that claim, fans lit up the comments calling it straight up disrespectful. People were clowning hard like, how is Nas versus Jim Jones even a real topic? Most folks couldn't believe Jim had the nerve to compare himself, while others just laughed him off like he was trying out for stand-up comedy.
Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones? Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Nas.
All right. Nas or Jim Jones?
Is that a serious question? It's Nas, bro. Jim Jones is a clown.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Come on. Is that a question?
Yo.
Is that a question?
Hey, yo.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Come
though.
on.
I ain't say who.
Yo. Nas
for the post.
All right.
It didn't matter that Jim's been in the game for over 20 years. The second he put himself on Nas's level, the respect flew out the window. Nobody cared about Jim's history once he dared to compare himself to that one rapper, the one nobody ever debates. We're talking about the same Nas who dropped Illmatic at just 20 years old and still snags Grammy noms 3 decades later. And if you ask legends like RZA, Nas is a straight-up genius, the Bobby Fischer of MCs.
Nas a Bobby Fischer of MCs.
because Bobby Fischer was the youngest MC youngest chess master
player, right.
to master. He became a grandmaster at the youngest age.
Right.
There's a few that beat him over the years,
Right.
but he was the first one at that age to be, and Nas was a master at the age of 16, 17,
Right.
where most of us, because you met us, we was already in our 20s.
Right.
He was at the age of 17, 18.
But Jim Jones isn't backing down, not even a little. Instead of cooling off, he's doubling down again, teasing his upcoming sit-down with Angie Martinez. And from the looks of it, Jim's still got plenty more to say about Nas.
Respect means to you?
Respect is definitely something you gotta earn. Respect is something I might not get from everybody, but you're definitely not gonna disrespect.
Like he's not done stirring the pot just yet.
Where are you at with marriage now? How did you feel about Sierra running up on you at the, you invited?
I know anything Sierra's gonna say is gonna go super viral next to me. I'll take it. I know how to turn my negatives into a positive. Man, I didn't know how many people love Nas.
At this point, fans are over it. The comment sections are flooded with people calling Jim out for chasing clout. One user straight up said, "Why is this man-child so obsessed with going viral?"
I was like, yo, we should have Jim on the pod. And then the next day, Jimmy's viral.
This is one of the ways of marketing that is working right now in today's music.
That's all I've heard from him for weeks. Another fan added, "Does he really think going viral for disrespecting Nas is gonna help him sell more records?" The crowd is not buying it. And then someone hit Jim with the ultimate burn. How you lose a rap battle you started, and your opponent didn't drop one bar line or even a word? And honestly, that fan's got a point. Nas hasn't said a single thing about any of this. He's been silent the whole time. Like Jim isn't even worth a response. Just when folks thought this tired convo would finally fade away, boom, Drake jumps in out of nowhere. This drama had absolutely nothing to do with him, but here he comes, sliding in to support Jim and take slick shots at Nas on the low. Drake even posted a photo of himself with Jim, and just to stir the pot a little more, Jim slid into the comments and wrote, "Men have respect." Like, really? That's the energy we're on now? Mafia rules. A toast to the last ones left. That's what Drake wrote. And as expected, fans tore into him and Jim in the comments. People were saying this moment sealed the deal. Drake and Jim are now officially two of the corniest rappers in the game. Let's be real. Drake jumping in to defend Jim has nothing to do with loyalty. Fans are calling it out for what it is. Just another example of Drake's obsession with stirring up drama and chasing controversy for clicks. He's built a whole lane out of being a contrarian, pushing buttons just to stay in the headlines and keep the clout rolling in. But there's also a deeper layer to why Drake's riding with Jim. These two actually got some history. Jim was one of the very few people in the industry who publicly stood with Drake during that heated Kendrick beef. And when Drake filed that wild defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group, blaming them for letting Kendrick drop Not Like Us, Jim was right there, clapping it up and calling Drake's legal move a straight-up power play. So now, Drake's just returning the favor, and the drama keeps getting messier.
It's $1 billion game in the midst of a rap beef? Me? Are you kidding me?
I think reputation matters. I think your image matters.
Bro, he's not snitching on nobody. He's catching a lawsuit.
No, I'm not. This has nothing to do with it. I'm not calling him a snitch.
Let's get this together. He's not in a court of law. He's not have a personal suing against Kendrick Lamar, which everybody seems to think that this lawsuit is about. He didn't sue Kendrick Lamar. He sued UMG, which is the biggest company that has the biggest bag.
Then in another interview with Angela Yee, Jim took it even further. He claimed that Drake has done more for the culture than most other rappers out here.
I'm gonna say to Drake, what you really gonna do with him, man? Like, he's changed the way that we listen to music in the past 10 years, wholeheartedly. And everybody that's been around, he's helped change their sound also. For all our favorite rappers, you name the top rapper right now, has helped them tremendously out in their career by just jumping on a record or putting them on a tour. You know what I mean? Like, he's done more for our culture than most.
Yep. He really said that with a straight face, and fans were not having it. But Jim still wasn't finished running his mouth. He later came out saying, Drake isn't just one of the best rappers alive. He's the greatest of all time. Like, ever. And if that wasn't wild enough, Jim went ahead and called Drake his spirit animal. People were left speechless, wondering if this was hype, trolling, or full-blown delusion.
Drake's stand in hip-hop history.
I would say he's the greatest of all time. The relevancy that he keeps showing year after year, hit after hit, record after record. Any record that he has put out has seemed to go multiple platinum. Like, that's never has happened before in this history. I mean, there's a few other people that do astronomical numbers like that, but he really in it. Like, you know what I mean? From all angles of music. It ain't no place you can't go that they not gonna play some Drake records to get the party started. He moving around here like the real Bruce Wayne. Like, he's my spirit animal, man.
Now, when it comes to how Drake feels about Jim, he's been a Dipset fan since forever. He's always repped Harlem, shouted out Cameron, Jewels, and of course, Jim. Back in 2023, Jim even crowned Drake the honorary 5th member of Dipset. So yeah, there's definitely love between them. But let's keep it real. Drake jumping into this whole Jim vs. Nas mess ain't really about loyalty or standing on principle. There's a deeper reason behind the timing, and it's got folks talking. Right when this drama started heating up, Pusha T and Malice dropped the official track list for the upcoming Clipse album. And guess who's featured? Nas. According to Complex, Nas is on track 12, titled Let God Sort 'Em Out, Chandeliers. Now no one knows for sure if the track's a diss or who it's aimed at, but in a recent interview with Rolling Stone, Pusha described the record as sharp and said he's been trying to lock in a feature with Nas for years. That alone might have been enough to get under Drake's skin and push him to throw that subtle shade again. The album also features a track with Kendrick Lamar called Chains and Whips, and the entire project is produced by Pharrell. So now, with Pusha T, Kendrick, and Pharrell all linked up on one record, fans are doing the math fast, and the message feels loud. See, Nas never had any real beef with Drake, at least not publicly. But by hopping on a Clipse album that includes all 3 of Drake's longtime rivals, yeah, that's looking like a line being drawn. Some might call it a stretch, but insiders close to Drake are saying he's not happy about Nas being on that track list. Why? Simple. Because Pusha T's involved. And if there's one person Drake seems to avoid going bar for bar with, it's definitely Pusha. Let's not forget, this is the same guy who dropped the story of Adidon and flipped Drake's world upside down. He exposed Drake's secret child and tore apart his polished image in one savage track.
On his part, it was a genius chess move. He obviously has no, when it comes to me, he's not gonna have any morals or respect. So the other elements of the record, whether it be just the shit that he's making up about my mom and my dad and all this dumb shit, or obviously the part that hit me the most, which is wishing that my friend that has an illness dies. That shit to me is just not really wavy. I'm just not really with that.
Drake's tried to act unbothered ever since, but fans saw through it. He was shook, and many say he never truly bounced back. So with Nas now teaming up with that same squad, Drake's feeling the pressure again, and it shows. When it comes to Nas and Drake, it's true. They never had any real drama between them. Drake's actually shown love and respect for Nas's legacy on multiple occasions. They weren't best buds or anything, but there was never any tension, at least not out in the open. But here's where it gets interesting. Nas is a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. After Kendrick dropped his latest album, GNX, riding that major wave from his win in the Drake beef, Nas showed mad love. He posted the GNX cover on Instagram with the caption, "Always inspired by my brother Kendrick Lamar, keeping the essence of this ish alive and at the forefront. Salute King." That post alone said a lot. Now jump to 2025. Nas is on a project with Pusha T and Kendrick. That's not just a feature, that's a message. And yeah, Drake is taking it personal. People close to his circle are saying he feels low-key betrayed. He's been respectful to Nas for years, so to see Nas team up with 2 of his biggest rivals, that stings. And when you tie it back to the Jim Jones chaos, fans are saying this might be the real reason Drake suddenly threw his support behind Jim. It wasn't random, it was calculated, like a quiet clap back at Nas for picking a side. Drake's never been the type to just chill when his spotlight feels threatened. If something messes with his clout or pushes him to the sidelines, you know he's gonna sneak in with some low-key shots, even when it ain't his business to begin with. And now people are calling it for what it is, petty. Instead of staying locked in on his own music, Drake's out here playing industry chess, picking sides based on who's linking up with who. Just because Nas is on Pusha T's album and Pusha still can't stand Drake, Drake decided to ride for Jim Jones and toss some slick shade at Nas. And honestly, that fits his pattern. Drake's whole career has been about loyalty moves, tight circles, and controlling the narrative. He keeps people close who don't push back, and the second someone challenges him, he cuts them off like they never existed. So yeah, no surprise that he inserted himself into this Jim versus Nas mess. But while Drake's busy playing the politics game, fans are way more hyped for that upcoming Clipse album, with Pusha, Kendrick, Nas, and Pharrell all on deck. Drake might want to start scribbling his responses now, because this project could shake the whole game. If you like this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share it with your people. Catch you on the next one.